things to add to what has been said. Firstly, the launch today of the LEAP initiative for low-cost effectors shows that E5 meetings deliver results. And we need to do more of that. As Europe's leading defence powers, we're taking responsibility for our own security, developing low-cost air weapons to keep our people and our nations safe. Our first project will use cutting-edge technologies, learning the lessons from the battlefield in Ukraine, and at a time of increasing threats, it's actions, not words, that will deter Putin. And that's what we're seeing here with the agreement on the LEAP initiative from the E5 group. Secondly, our support for Ukraine is unwavering. In the coming week, we'll mark the grim anniversary as the full-scale invasion of Ukraine enters its 5th year. Putin thought that he would win that war in 3 days. He was wrong. He now faces a stronger, more united and larger NATO, and Ukraine continues to fight with huge courage. We will stand with Ukraine as United Kingdom, as the E5, as NATO members for as long as it takes. And the UK has committed over £13 billion in military support for Ukraine. And we'll continue to share battlefield technology and lessons, and the Octopus interceptor drone that learns the lessons from the battlefield is under mass production in the UK now that will enable Ukraine to take down the drones that are attacking their infrastructure. And my final message is to the people of Poland. The partnership between the UK and Poland has never been stronger. Be in no doubt that when you need us, the UK will be there for you. And I know from the meetings I've had today that Poland and the UK can rely on each other as well. And to the Poles back home in Britain, rest assured that this relationship that we have between our two nations is only going to get deeper and stronger, because good friends turn up for one another when they're in a time of need. And that's what both our nations, all our nations here today, will continue to do. Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję. Panie ministrze, proszę o zabranie głosu wysoką przedstawiciel Unii Europejskiej do spraw zagranicznych i polityki bezpieczeństwa, panią Kaję Kallas.
Thank you, and thank you, Minister, for hosting us today here. A lot was already said. We discussed many important points. I will want to stress on a few. First, on defense. Europe's security is more uncertain than it has been in decades. Russia poses a major threat, that is clear for everybody. The Middle East remains unstable, and China is a long-term challenge. And the transatlantic link is being redefined, with the United States expecting Europe to take greater responsibility for its own defense. These are structural shifts, not just temporary glitches. If we want to keep our country safe, we must strengthen our hard power. The good news is that we are already investing record sums in defense. Europe is stepping up, but it's not about competing with NATO. It's about making Europe stronger within NATO. A stronger Europe makes the alliance also stronger. The announcement that the 5 countries today made to develop low-cost air defenses to protect European skies is an example of taking responsibility. At the same time, we need clear vision. This is why President von der Leyen and I are working together on a new European security strategy. Today, we also focused and discussed the sharp rise of hybrid threats. While Russia's army is stalled in Ukraine, its hybrid warfare is intensifying. Moscow is trying to weaken Europe without crossing the threshold of open warfare. From cyber attacks to sabotage and drone incursions, we have seen reckless and deliberate escalation. But Europe is also responding. We are sanctioning those responsible. We have tightened controls of the movements of Russian diplomats. We have stepped up actions against Russia's shadow fleet, and we deployed hybrid response teams to partner countries at risk. All this goes together with more investments in drone and cyber defenses. And finally, on Ukraine, the talks in Geneva once again showed that Russia is not moving away from its maximalist demands. By most measures, the war has grown even more brutal for Ukraine over the past year. Russia is dragging out negotiations rather than moving towards peace. Europe's answer remains straightforward. More support for Ukraine and more pressure on Russia. The EU is moving ahead with the 90 billion loan, and the first funds expected to be dispersed in April. Planning also continues on the EU's contribution to the future security guarantees. At the same time, we also need to shift the narrative to the one who is actually responsible for this war. So we need to also see the concessions from the Russian side in order to have a sustainable peace. Next Monday, we aim to adopt the 20th sanctions package against Russia. Sanctions are working. They are severely hurting Russia's economy, and each new measure further limits its ability to wage the war. Moscow is not invincible. Its army is suffering record casualties, and its economy is under heavy strain. But Putin won't end this war until the costs are higher than the benefits. And that is the point we must reach. Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję pani komisarz. Bardzo proszę o zabranie głosu zastępcę sekretarza generalnego NATO, panią Radmilę Shekerinską.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vladislav, for not only organizing this in a beautiful city, which some of us have seen, but some of us are arriving for the first time, but also choosing this a really very inspiring environment for our meeting. The transatlantic alliance is the bedrock of our security in Europe. It remains essential